Shilpi is here, and she's saying, Acharya pranam from all my heart. I am with myself and know that it is painful. Pins and needles. When a student comes close to you, you get surrounded by the pain that they are. Is it my business to ask this? Ram Acharya, thank you. Two, three things have been said. Firstly, I am with myself and it is painful. I will address this. Shilpi, it is never painful to be with oneself. Being with oneself is not painful because being with oneself is not possible. Being with oneself cannot be painful because being with oneself is not possible at all. Whenever you say you are with yourself, you are actually with a lot of mental divisions, needless distortions, projections of the mind. You are yourself. You must remain yourself. But you cannot really be with yourself. Even if I consider the extenuating context, even if I make allowance for your intention when you say that you are with your real self, your ideal self, your true identity, a question still remains. The question is, if you are with the real self, then surely the real self is at a little distance from you, maybe close to you, but still separate from you. So, in being with the real self, who are you? The real is then at a distance. Who are you? And I want to ask this question to all who want to be with themselves. If in being with yourself, your professed intention is to be with, be with the truth that you are, then who is going to be with the truth? Who is it who is going to accompany the truth or come close to the truth? It's obvious. You are taking yourself as someone who is not quite true. Your very pious intention has wreaked havoc upon you. Look at how the intention itself has made a mockery of the intended. You intended to be close to the truth, and by intending to be close to the truth, you have declared yourself to be false. It's needless, Shilpi, totally needless. And because it is needless, it hurts you, as you say, like needles. Only the needless can hurt you like needles. See, there is so little difference. Needless needles. And our life is nothing but a story of being needled down by the needless. So we see clearly that when one declares that he or she is coming close to herself, it is an unnecessary and self deprecating declaration of one's falseness. So you cannot come close to the truth really. The one who comes close to the truth firstly declares herself to be false and then vows to come close to the truth. The movement in closeness, the movement towards closeness, the movement towards truth is secondary. Primary is the declaration that I am not the truth, and this declaration makes you needlessly suffer. When you say you are with yourself, you are unnecessarily surrounding the truth with nonsense. The truth cannot be with anything. There is nothing but the truth. The truth can have no company at all. When you are really with yourself, then you are with nobody. When you are really with yourself, then you are alone. Aloneness is nothing but the state of being with oneself. Get it? Aloneness is not company. Truth can have no company. Don't try to be with yourself. Try to see the falseness of all that which surrounds you as company. Try to see the falseness of all that which surrounds you as the mental envelope. See that effortlessly. Try so hard that it becomes effortless to see. What do I mean by trying so hard? Be as devoted towards the truth as the truth is devoted towards itself. The truth is so very devoted towards itself that it sees nothing but itself. When you see from the truth, do you see anything except the truth? That is called devotion. The truth is so very committed to itself that it never sees the false. Does the sun ever see shadows? Wherever the sun is, there is only brightness. The sun has never seen darkness. Similarly, the truth never sees the false. That is called being always in only one's own company. Truth is always in the company of either itself or its own light. Is sun ever in the company of darkness? Is light ever in the company of night? It is not possible. In trying to be with even the truth, you are surrounding yourself with the false. That is the very characteristic of the false. It surrounds. It is never at the center, but it surrounds. It besieges. Like an enemy army lays siege upon a fort. From all sides, it surrounds you. The truth never surrounds you. The truth is always the center. Remain centered. That which surrounds you is not good company. And if you can remain centered, you get a great reward. The great reward is that the sun is indeed surrounded, but by its own aura, by its own light. You will get great company, but that company will not be of the others. That company will be of your own radiance. If you remain committed to the sun, to the heart, to the light in the heart, then your physical manifestation, your body, is blessed with great company. You raise a society of your own. You are a culture, a civilizational movement in yourself. It doesn't matter how many people surround you or whether any people surround you at all. But your very ambience is that of light. It is as if all the goodness of the heart takes the shape of human beings and you have loving relationships with them. That is real company. But then those who are now giving you company are not others. You are not in the company of others. You are in the company of those who are nothing but the expression of your own pure self. Would you say that now you are in the company of others? No. You are now in your own company, just as the sun is surrounded by its own aura. Are you getting it? And that company obviously cannot be pins and needles. You are basking in your own light. There can be no conflict, no contradiction. That does not mean that there is uniformity either. It's just that neither you nor the other are limited. And because you are not limited, you have no reason to confront the other on limited issues. You have no reason to feel insecure about the other. You have no reason to try to possess the other or be guarded towards the other. Are you getting it? If you keep calling yourself as the false, then your words will materialize. You know how powerful you are? It all depends on your honest declaration. Honestly, you declare you are the truth. Honestly, with all your power. Honestly, you declare you all are the truth. And truth you indeed are. And you use the same energy to declare that you are false. Even if with great intentions you declare that you are false, and you have condemned yourself to a life of falseness. Do you know how most people declare themselves to be false? By declaring themselves to be seekers of truth. Truth never seeks the truth. The truth is well settled. The moment you, in your holy intentions, declare that you are seeking the truth, you have condemned yourself to hell. Don't seek the truth. If you seek the truth, then you are only getting the company of pins and needles. The thoughts that surround you, the people that you take for company, they are not yours. They are not yours, and it is not their fault. When you are not yours, how can your thought be yours, your company be yours? You be with yourself, and then miraculously, all that which surrounds you will be you, not even yours. First of all, you remain staunchly you, and then only you will surround you. I surrounded by I is the dance of Shiva. I enveloped by this and that is Shiva smiling at nonsense. In either case, Shiva remains Shiva. But why do you want to be the nonsense that Shiva can merely smile at? Why don't you be the essence and the dance of Shiva? Then you say, when a student comes close to you Do you get surrounded by the pain that they are? We have already spoken a lot on being surrounded and surroundings. Yes, when a student comes to me with all her pain, I do get surrounded by her pain, but only surrounded. That pain remains on the periphery. And because that pain remains only on the periphery, does not quite seep into my center, hence the truth does what it does. We said the truth can be surrounded only by itself. Hence, if you surround the truth with pain, the truth turns the pain into truth. And that's what the job of the Guru is. You feed pain to the Guru, and the Guru turns it into truth. Truth that is relief, that is joy, that is bliss and purity. But there is no doubt that one does get surrounded by all the pain of the world. One has to not identify with the pain. Otherwise, one will not be able to know the pain. And to not identify with the pain, you must have a great love towards who you really are. Truth knows only itself and loves only itself. If you start getting attracted towards the false, then it will become very possible for you to be also identified with the false. It's a tightrope walk. On one hand, one is compassionate, and on the other hand, one has to be totally disidentified and detached. Compassion that results in a muddle up, compassion that results in identification, is only perpetuation of misery. A great prerequisite of compassion is witnessing detachment. One has to see that for the world, the pain exists, really exists. And one has to see that the world is crying. And the tears have to be acknowledged. Yes, the one who is experiencing the pain is really, really crying. And on the other hand, simultaneously, one has to know that the tears are needless. Yes, the tears do exist, and the one who is crying is experiencing suffering. Write that. But the suffering is also arbitrary, needless. and therefore falls. That's why I said it's a tightrope walk. You come crying to me, and I say, I can see that there is such a lot of misery. And then I say to you, is it really necessary to suffer? Don't you see that you have power, that you have options? Don't you see that you are not confined or constricted? Don't you see that you are just choosing wrongly, but the power to choose still exists very much with you? Don't you see that you are taking yourself to be helpless? But if the choice to be helpless vests in you, how are you helpless? Even helplessness is a proof of your great power. If you were not powerful enough, how indeed did you choose to be helpless? And if you can choose to act helpless, you can also revoke your choice at any moment, can't you? It's just that you made the choice and forgot that it's your own choice. Now you are crying buckets, acting as if the choice has been inflicted upon you. The choice has not been inflicted upon you. You, in your great power and wanton playfulness, just made the choice. It is an expression of your freedom that you can choose to suffer. Yes, you were in a playful mood. You decided to suffer. It was not a mistake. You need not even feel guilty for it. You are so all encompassing and so powerful that it is very much a part of your splendor to turn on the suffering mode sometimes. You did that, and you told yourself, now I am going into the suffering mode and I want to be totally into that mode. Obviously, you did that because you are so powerful, so you can act totally. You know, only the total can act totally. Totally, you decided to act like a sufferer, and your acting is so deep and complete that now the actor has forgotten that he is merely acting. At one level, he has forgotten the conscious level. At another level, he still remains alert and aware. How do I say that? How do I say that he has forgotten the fact of acting only at the conscious level, only at the superficial level? How do I say that deep within he still very much knows who he is? I say that because his acting makes him suffer. If it makes him suffer, the suffering itself is the proof that the acting is not your nature. That the role that you have taken upon yourself is just a role. And that is why you are not feeling very comfortable or well adjusted with that role. It's like a full grown adult trying to wear a baby's shoes. He's trying to act like a baby. For a while, it was just good fun, donning the baby's dress, trying to somehow get into the baby's shoes. All laughed, and made merry. But now it's been too long and your feet are hurting. Now you are feeling suffocated in the tiny dress. That you are feeling suffocated is itself the proof that you are very, very big. If you were not big, how could you have felt suffocated in the little clothes that you are wearing, in the littleness that you have surrounded yourself with? Each of us feels suffocated because we have surrounded ourselves with petty stuff. The suffocation itself is the proof of our immensity. If we were not immense, why would we feel constrained? Why would we feel bondage? So you come to me saying that you are suffering. On one hand, I really, really commiserate with you. On the other hand, I smile at your mischief. You have fooled yourself and now you are trying to fool me as well. You have deluded yourself by telling yourself that you are a victim, a helpless sufferer. And now you have come to me trying to play the same trick upon me. You want to convince me that you are little, helpless, a sufferer, an ignorant victim. I won't buy that. I know who you are. If I know myself, how is it possible for me to not know you? You come to me playing all kinds of games. My task is to bring you out of that game by participating in that game. You come to me as a seeker or a student. I say, very well. If you have decided to play the student, I will play the guru. Though I know that you and me are not at all different. But if you will play the student, I will play along. I'll join the ride. You see, it's a theme party. It's a great party in which there are so many playing different kinds of sufferers. And if there are so many who want to wear the robes and clothes and tears of sufferers, you also need someone who talks and acts and plays like a guru. So I take that role upon myself. You see, I am just doing what you do. Your part is false. And the day you see that your part is false, you will realize that my part is equally false. The teacher and the student are both equally false, but I remain greatly true as long as you remain greatly false. If you are identified with your false self, then I must remain the biggest truth for you. The day you leap out of your unnecessary identification, I too will leap out of the role I am playing. Then you will see that you and me are just together on the same shore. I'm not someone who has crossed over. There is no other side to cross over to. We were always together on the same side. But you were in a playful mood. And it's bad manners to spoil somebody's mood. I decided to play along. You come to me and you say meow. And I will say bow bow. If you are a cat, then I am a dog. Let's play. The moment you are not a cat, I too am not a dog. Who would I be then? You would know when you are not a cat. I am just you walking outside of you in time and space. That's who I am. And who are you? You too are you, having surrounded yourself in time and space. Both are the same, and yet there is a great difference. There is a great difference as long as you believe in differences. The day you see that all differences are there because you were feeling bored and decided to create diversity, the differences will go to sleep. They will go to sleep, and time too will go to sleep. And then one day again, time will wake up. The differences and the diversities will wake up. And then someone will say, ah, the universe has again been created in 6 days. Right? But you have gone on and you have further said, what has he said? Is it my business to ask this? Not at all. It is not at all your business to ask this, Shilpi. But have you ever been minding your real business? Because you have never really been involved in your real business. So it is perfectly excusable if here too you are trespassing into others' business. If Shilpi were someone who knew her own business and then she would violate somebody else's business, then I would say, Shilpi, bad girl. But Shilpi has anyway taken on the role of someone who does not know her own business and therefore keeps meddling in this and that. Because you anyway would keep meddling in this and that. So I welcome you to rather meddle with me. Come, be a part of my business. Come, spoil my business by being a part of it. What else can you do? Because that is anyway the role that you have chosen for yourself in your great freedom, in your absolute power, the role of a spoiler. You spoil your own mood. Pins and needles. Is this the gift you sent to me? Pins and needles. You spoil your own mood. What else would you do with others? So welcome to my business. Come and spoil it. Come and spoil it. Because it cannot be spoiled. Maybe that would remind you of how unspoilable certain things are. And when you see that certain things are indestructible, then you would be reminded of yourself. You must come upon something that you cannot touch. You must be deeply humbled and frustrated. Otherwise, you live very arrogantly. You feel that everything on this earth, in this universe, belongs to the same dimension that you have chosen for yourself. You feel that everything is susceptible to differences. You feel that all can be blemished. You feel that all can be influenced. You must come upon someone who cannot be blemished, cannot be influenced, cannot be disturbed or destroyed. And then you will realize who you are. By being defeated, you will be reminded of your utterly victorious nature. Otherwise, there is no way to convince you that indefinite victory necessarily exists. You will say, I have only seen defeat and frustration and limits in this world. Why and how are you convincing me that the infinite, immense really exists? To be convinced of that, you must be defeated totally. Come to me, try to spoil my business, and my business is to defeat you totally. In your total defeat, I repeat, you will meet your final victory. Welcome.